3D printing and digital manufacturing itself is still an emerging new technology as well, to industrial manufacturers, right? So it's kind of like everything is new and everything is evolving, everything is emerging. And so the approach to marketing, I would say, is very different from the marketing approaches for, an established category, because this category is not established yet, right? In the mainstream, at least, even for industrial manufacturers.
Welcome to IndustrialSage, a free video podcast series all about digital marketing for industrial manufacturers. Hear interviews with your peers and find out how they're solving the same challenges that you might be facing in your own field. Coming to you from the Optimum Production Studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is IndustrialSage.
All right, so let's get started in today's episode. I have Sunita Lanta here, who is from HP. She's actually the VP of Global Marketing for HP under their 3D printing and digital manufacturing division. Sunita, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so long title. There's a lot going on there. So maybe tell me a little bit about what your role is there at HP with the 3D printing and digital manufacturing.
All right, so I joined HP about a year ago to lead global marketing for this new business. And actually, I've always been interested in the intersection of new technology, new business model, and policies. And my experience has been pretty diverse, from the entrepreneurial to venture-backed Silicon Valley companies to Fortune Global 100 companies. And my role and responsibilities here really is to position HP as that trusted solutions leader that helps our industrial manufacturing customers succeed in their digital manufacturing journey. And when you think about it, that's actually quite a departure from the core kind of historical of who HP is, because I think most people know HP mainly as a consumer and commercial, technology companies. So this new foray, this new business into 3D printing and digital manufacturing is slightly different than the traditional HP. Right, as probably your audience knows, in the world of industrial manufacturing, it is not enough, I would say, for a technology company to only be viewed as a hardware technology vendor. But it is more important for the company to be viewed as that trusted solutions leader that actually has the expertise and the end-to-end solutions, namely hardware technology, software, and services, help the industrial customers succeed in their journey, right? Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, customers want to apply new technologies such as 3D printing or digital manufacturing to really achieve benefits. And there are many benefits of 3D printing, but in general, I would summarize them into three things. The first is to help our industrial customers achieve operational efficiencies for their own manufacturing operations internally. Second, to help our industrial customers to be able to provide superior customer experience for their end consumers externally. And last, which is usually the hardest, especially for big incumbent manufacturers, is to create new business models and new revenue streams that wouldn't otherwise be possible. And so a lot of my kind of marketing activities here at HP really focus on developing the strategies and executing on like a multi-prong, multi-channel marketing plan that position HP as that trusted solutions leader.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, and that this whole digital transformation piece that's happening is, just rapidly evolving the manufacturers and industrial companies as we know it. And I think the whole 3D printing aspect in particular is very fascinating. We're seeing a lot of manufacturers that are very excited about it for many, many reasons. So, sort of on that note, maybe we can jump into a little bit of, maybe some interesting innovations or the different applications that you're seeing that you're rolling out with your solutions.
Great, and I'm glad you're asking about applications, because I think in this world of 3D printing and digital manufacturing, hey, great to have a technology, but at the end of the day, what kind of applications that eventually deliver benefits that you can enable? So there are many applications, Danny, that can be enabled by 3D printing, ranging from automotive to aerospace, to medical, to consumer products, you name it. It's really endless. When you look at 3D printing, it's really being used for like three things. The first is for functional prototyping. The second is for manufacturing aids. And the third, which is the most important, is actually for final parts production. And for those in the audience who may not be familiar, 3D printing has actually been around for 30 years. But in the past, it had primarily been used only for prototyping. But in the past few years, with the advancement of the technology and also the knowledge, we have seen more and more use of 3D printing for industrial manufacturing applications. So 3D printing in the world of industrial manufacturing enables three cool things. The first, it enables new geometries that wouldn't be possible. The second, it enables new part properties, that also wouldn't be possible otherwise. And the third thing, it also enables new mass customizations that wouldn't otherwise be possible.
Right.
So here, actually, I would like to just share with the audience an example. And, I know like probably cannot see the whole thing, but this is a 3D printed iPhone case right here. As you can see, the whole thing was 3D printed, it was a lattice structure and it has actually my name embossed on it. And another kind of like interesting applications of 3D printing that leverage mass customization is, eyewear that can be 3D printed to best fit your head and your face. And then dental aligners, can be 3D printed as well to best fit your teeth and your mouth, such as Invisalign and Smile Direct and all those dental aligners companies. And last but not least, orthotics and prosthetics that can be 3D printed and personalized to best fit your body. And so while, a lot of these more consumer-oriented and medical products are interesting, HP is also focusing on industrial applications, especially in automotive, and with the advent of new automotive platforms, especially for electric vehicles and for autonomous vehicles, there will be many automotive parts that will be 3D printed. And why is that? And the reason is because when you start kind of going to electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles, it's actually a big advantage for parts to be 3D printed because one, it reduces the weight of the car. And then second, because of that, then it increases the car efficiencies. And then last but not least, if you have customized 3D printed interiors, inside the car, it provides superior customer experience for the end consumers, So in this particular area, we're working with many ecosystem partners, including, leading companies like Volkswagen. They're actually the largest auto company in the world. And we're working with these ecosystem partners and customers who look to leverage our technology to help them, within their digital manufacturing journey.
No, absolutely, that's fantastic. So many different applications, and I can see how that, it's kind of endless. I know one area in particular I'm just kind of curious about, as far as the different materials that you're able to do. I'm hearing a lot that the metal is starting to be a big area. Do you have anything like that in the future coming down?
Oh, actually, we at HP, so we did launch this business 3 years ago, primarily with polymer, with plastics. However, last year, Danny, we actually launched our metals business, so the metal technology. The printer itself is not ready yet, but it will be ready by the end of next year. Yeah. However, we are today already enabling those customers who are interested to actually 3D print metals, for production through some of our production partners. So to answer your question, materials actually one of the most important, I would say, factors, to enable industrial 3D printing.
Yes.
And again, I don't want to bore the audience with regard to all the different technical materials. Sure. But even when you say plastic, there is like PA12, PA12 glass beads, PA11, there's all types of plastics materials depending on the applications. Sure. And the same thing with metals, So materials is really one of the enabler actually to make 3D printing more industrial.
That's super exciting. I love it. I could geek out on all this all day, but let's kind of move it a little bit into the sales and marketing aspect in terms of rolling out this new solution, which is a little bit new of a newer approach for HP. How are you guys building that demand and really going about it from an awareness standpoint?
Yeah, great question. And actually, the way I would view it is really a journey. So it is new to HP, definitely this whole industrial approach to marketing. But 3D printing and digital manufacturing itself is still an emerging new technology as well, to industrial manufacturers, right? So it's kind of like new, everything is new and everything is evolving, everything is emerging. And so the approach to marketing, I would say, is very different from the marketing approaches for, an established category, because this category is not established yet, right? In the mainstream, at least, even for industrial manufacturers. So really, a lot of our marketing strategies and activities are focusing on three pillars, Danny. So the first pillar is what I would call building the market and creating awareness. So building the market is actually important because again, the market is emerging, right? And so for that, a lot of our activities are focusing on building this kind of multi-channel, multi-touch marketing plan that really showcase all the possibilities and all the benefits that 3D printing can deliver.
Mhm.
And then in addition to that, we also showcase our thought leadership because again, it's an emerging area. So leaders such as HP has to have a point of view of like what does digital manufacturing mean and what kind of benefits and how does it fit in within all of the other advanced technologies in manufacturing. So we also showcase our thought leadership, of course, with industry analysts, industry influencers, and the ecosystem partners and customers. And then the second pillar is what I would call showcasing our customer successes. This is like a customer advocacy. As I would say, the audience probably understand in the industrial world, nothing speaks louder than the customer success. As a
Exactly.
technology provider, you can say all you want, but until a customer that I think his or his peers respect, share something, probably share their best practices, lessons learned, how they're leveraging our technology to deliver benefits for them and to achieve their business objectives. I just don't think, I cannot say enough about the importance really about customer advocacy. So in marketing, we work hard to document and also showcase all of these customer successes, be it through our videos, our case studies. We let our customers present, at industry events. We do webinars together. We do a lot of things to really let the customer shine because at the end of the day, that's how you showcase that you're actually delivering value. And then the last thing, the last pillar is what I would call the educating the market and creating demand.
Mhm.
So again, because 3D printing is still relatively new, so actually for manufacturers to truly benefit from 3D printing, they have to know how to design the products for 3D printing. So if they are only 3D printing a product that was traditionally designed for traditional manufacturing, they wouldn't be able to take advantage of the full value. So because of that, we do a lot of workshops. It's called Design for Additive Manufacturing. We also have Digital Minds consulting services where we try to change, people's minds, work with potential customers and partners to teach them which applications would be a good fit for them, to adopt 3D printing, helping them to build the business case, the technical case, and so on and so forth. So that's what a lot of that we do in terms of creating demand in the market.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's great. I love the approach there, especially, you talked about at the very beginning in terms of building that market. Big word, we throw it around a lot, omni-channel. But really, at the end of the day, it's so important, I think, with a lot of our audience members too, just to kind of think that, the way that we buy has changed, and it's very different, and it's important to make sure that that it's not necessarily one channel, that it's across the board, and that message, you had to have that message, but it's packaged, in different ways across on how the different type of content and that media, is best communicated. So. And then I love
Exactly.
the customer success pieces. Testimonials, obviously, case studies are in the advocacy piece are important. But one thing that I thought was interesting that I think that a lot of some of our audience sometimes we tend to forget a little bit is the sort of the best practices piece. Here, let's share that story. Here's the ROI, great thing. But hey, here's the lessons learned. Here's how you might want to be set up for success over here. And I think that's very, very valuable.
Yeah, and actually just to pound on that a little bit, Danny, because again, as I said, digital manufacturing is actually a journey because it's still not mainstream, and each customer is different, because they have different sets of challenges and opportunities, right? And, some customers might start, in one way and they want to focus on certain applications. Other may want to start on, other ways and, other sets of applications. But the point is, I think for HP, is no matter where the customer starts his or her journey, that we have the kind of comprehensive and integrated solutions and expertise, and also other customers that can share, their best practices and their lessons learned to help, the other customers succeed in their own journey.
No, absolutely, and I think it's part of that enablement piece. I think to be able to, just to kind of, because the reality of it is making some of these transitions. It's a little bit, it can be fearful. Is this going to work? Is it not? And so just to help to be able to minimize those barriers.
Yeah. So in a way, this is actually a form of digital transformation for the manufacturing process. I know like digital transformation is this word that everyone throws out there, right? Yeah. But truly, for me, this is an example of a digital transformation for the manufacturing sector.
Absolutely, a lot going on there. So it sounds like there's a lot of things that you guys have on the horizon. What's next? What's that big next exciting thing that's coming down the road for HP?
Man, there are so many things. Like this business moves so fast. I think we of course we keep improving our systems. And right now, as I've mentioned to you, we understand that it's not all just about the hardware technology. We understand it's about the end-to-end solutions, which means the hardware, the materials, the software, the services. And I think what is really big for us right now, we also understand that you cannot do it all by yourself. You know what I mean? I think ecosystem partner has kind of a role in it, right? And that's why we have, I'm not going to mention each one, but we have like a set of like ecosystem partners that we really work with closely in order to be able to deliver at the end of the day that end-to-end solutions. So for an example, actually about 3 weeks ago, I think we announced the expansion of our alliance with Siemens. Of course, as you know, Siemens is one of the leading kind of like digital industrial companies. And what we did is like we expanded our alliance to make sure that our additive manufacturing systems are actually integrated within the Siemens end-to-end kind of factory solution, because they have it from the design, to the engineering, to the manufacturing, to the production, all the way to connecting to the digital twin and their MindSphere industrial IoT platform. And so I think for HP, we'll start realizing in order to truly transform digital manufacturing and deliver benefits to our customers, we have to make sure that our system can be integrated within an end-to-end factory workflow, So many things coming, of course, more materials, more applications, but also ensuring that our system can integrate within the larger kind of like digital factory environment.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a big team approach. It's not just one and done. Not just one. You're stronger you are stronger together, and it takes all these other partners to do this. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Excellent. Well, Sunita, this has been a fantastic conversation. I really am very thankful for you for coming on IndustrialSage. If anybody would love to learn more about your solutions or have any questions for you, what's the best way to get in touch?
Yeah, I would say the best way is to actually to get in touch with me. Go to I have a LinkedIn profile. Perfect. It's just my name, Sunita Lonto, and I have a Twitter, as Lonto. But if you're interested to learn more about HP solutions, go to hp.com and click on 3D printing.
Excellent. A lot of ways to get a hold of you guys. So you got the omni-channel thing going on. That's great. So, Sunita, thank you again so much for coming on and sharing this this information with us.
Thank you very much, and hopefully it's useful.
Oh, I think it'll be very useful. Thanks so much. So there you go. Great episode here with IndustrialSage again with Sunita Lonto from HP. There's a lot of great things, at least for me, that I feel like we're able to unpack on here. And one thing that I kind of mentioned, she mentioned 3 pillars from the market, and there's some subsets there. And one being, building that market. The next piece is showcasing success and that customer advocacy piece. In particular, in that I loved the aspect of not just sharing those stories and that ROI and that case study. We know that's really important, but also helping to share sort of those best practices and those learnings. So particularly in a market where we are looking to, it's an emerging market where maybe not everyone is used to it. There's a lot of fear, maybe a little bit of trepidation that we can go in and say, look, here's some ways that we can enable you to really roll out with this, successfully, as much as we can. I think that was fantastic. And then obviously educating the market and really helping to be able to create that demand and really being, those thought leaders and putting out that content. So a lot of great things to unpack here. Hopefully you have one or two key takeaways that you can implement as you think about this today. And that's all I've got for you today on this episode. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at industrialsage.com/questions. We'd love to answer them for you. If you're listening on any of the podcasting stations, we'd love a review, social media, share our stuff. We'd love it. Share the love. So that's all I've got for you today. Thanks so much for watching or listening, depending on how you're consuming this. I'll catch you next week. I'm Danny Gonzalez, and this is Industrial Sage.